Hello! Hello, welcome. Hi, thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new here, hello, I'm FEARSONA, you can call me Sona, and I'm your friendly neighborhood true crime VTuber, here to give you full body chills, so I hope you have a hot beverage on standby. Because today's cases are gonna be chilly, are gonna give you full body chills. Okay. Also now, thank you so much for joining Even Angrier Mob. I hope you enjoy. Enjoy the emotes, enjoy the membership, and thank you so much for supporting the channel. Okay, you guys, fun fact with Fear, because I just found out about something and it blew my mind this morning, because it is morning for me, so good morning, good evening, depending on where you are. But fun facts with Fear, I just blew my mind. And I don't know, I don't know if I can handle it. So I was standing, like, okay, if you have a chance, you can do the same. I don't know if you're aware of this, because to me it was like mind-blowing, and I think I discovered something. I think I discovered a new world. But, okay, so I was standing in front of my window, and I was just looking out at the buildings, like, outside of my window, right? Apartment, like, different apartment buildings. So I'm looking at them, and then I was like, I don't know why, but I was just backing away from the window, but like backing away from the window while facing the window. And as I'm backing away from the window, the buildings are getting bigger. And I'm like, how did I not know? What? I'm sorry? And like the closer I get to the window, the buildings outside get smaller, but then I get farther away and the buildings get bigger. And I was just like, my life is a lie. I have discovered the marvel of human eye, and this is apparently called the parallax effect. And I'm like, what? Yeah, I know. I mean, yeah, it might not be that much for you guys. I don't know, like maybe you were aware of this. I'm just like, my life is a lie, the whole world is a lie, and are you sure this wasn't? No, this is a parallax effect. This is an actual thing. Like, the further you are from the object, like it gets, like there's this like optical illusion where it gets bigger. We live in a simulation. I'm not kidding. I'm like, this is I don't know. This is some magic. I think we're living in the Matrix or like maybe Harry Potter. I don't know. Also, The Meaning, thank you so much for being a member for 8 months. I was definitely not aware of that. I'm not kidding, you guys. Go to your window, stand in front of your window, like close to your window, and then start like backing away from the window, like facing it and just looking outside. I'm not kidding. The buildings, the objects are gonna get bigger as you get farther from the window. Ah! She's starting to realize she's shrinking. She's shrinking. Oh no! Sona is hacking real life. I am not kidding. You guys can check for yourself the marvel of human eye and the miracles of this world. The things you learn every day. My mind is blown. You're welcome, Miss Queen, and everyone else. Hey, thank you so much for tuning in. I've known one other fella who thinks we live in a simulation. You're my second case of that now. Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't think we live in a simulation. Yeah, like, I don't think we live in a simulation. I just think that there are things that human eye or just like human body and just the world, like I don't know, physics. I don't know, like it's just some things that we can explain. It's like weird laws of physics that we cannot, I don't know, like it's kind of weird that it's real, but it is. Yeah, it's great. It is great. Christopher, hi! And Joshua Hernandez, hi! And Queen MC, and Jay the Real McCoy, and IDK Bacon, and Kronos. Thank you so much for modding, by the way. IDK Bacon, Kronos, Eric, thank you so much for being here to mod the chat. I hope you guys can enjoy the stream too, so like take it easy, you know. To everyone else in the chat, please abide by the rules so that mods can also enjoy the stream and they don't have to, like, you know, just focus on the chat. They can also listen to the stream and watch. And Danny D, hello. Thank you so much for you know, joining the stream. I'm glad that you can make it. And John Joan, hi, welcome. Omega Nitro, and wait, am I pronouncing it right? Omega Nitro, I think. Sona stream time, A. Big Slim, hello. The world is weird and Sona discovered the hacks. I discover hacks every single day. Also, another fun fact with Fear, spiders if you didn't think they were gross enough already and weird and terrifying, their blood is apparently clear. Transparent. They have transparent, translucent blood. It's not red, it's not blue, it's not green. It's just like, it's just water. I mean, it's not water, but yeah, it is. They are freaky. They're freaking me out. I don't know why spiders exist, but sure. Ah! Yeah, but spiders' blood is clear. Most insects are like that. Yeah, insects are a weird thing. Also, J. Daryl McCoy, thank you so much for the super. Then, where are the Agent Smiths? I think they won't react to this. Like, they're like, this girl is figuring us out like a little bit, but she's not, okay, she's not a threat just yet. We're gonna step into the action when it gets serious. I think that now they're like, oh, look at her, silly goose. They would just be like, oh, silly goose. Discovering the parallax effect. Or is it? Or is it? Long story short, my house was completely destroyed. What? By the flooding and what? And rain. Had some bad storms here in Cali. Oh yeah, I did hear that there were bad storms, but I thought, well, because you were saying, Kronos, you were saying that, oh, you had power outage, but otherwise it was fine. So like in the end, wait, in the end your house was flooded? I'm so sorry. I think I didn't know it was like that bad. I thought it was like, okay, power outages. It wasn't like terrible, but then I guess I didn't see much of the news on it. Wow, okay. I didn't want to share with everyone, but yeah, I'm so sorry, Kronos. I didn't know that it was that terrible. Also, Thinvo, thank you so much for the super. Happy Dragon Year, Sonson. That's a nice nickname, Sonson. Wishing you good health, prosperity, and happiness. Yeah, let's get rich. Money and prestige. That's what I wish for this year. Money and prestige. That's literally what everyone wishes each other on, like, at least here, like in my circle, everyone was just like, money and prestige, let's get rich. No worries, I appreciate being here, keeps my mind off everything. I'm so sorry, Kronos, like, I didn't realize it was that bad. Holy shit. I thought, I mean, yeah, like, I was seeing some news, but because, I guess, like, because you didn't mention anything, I thought, like, oh, okay, you know, you had some power outage, but it wasn't, otherwise you were fine. Well, let me know if I can do anything. Okay, woo, happy Chinese New Year's. Have a good stream. Hey, Darkest Monkey, thank you so much. Yeah, like it's fine. Like that, I mean, you know, like Chinese New Year's, I guess like this weekend is kind of like celebration of Chinese New Year's. I did have a dinner with my family and friends, and then like otherwise, there's a shit ton of people everywhere because everyone was had, you know, like they have a day off or they have a weekend off, so they are traveling. There's a lot of people traveling, a lot of people coming to my town and just, you know, like exploring. Well, I mean, on vacation. So I don't really go out because I don't really like crowds. So I did go out yesterday, but it was so many people. So like just people everywhere. I know, shocker. Any lucky money? Yeah. Yeah, and I spent it on gambling. No, I mean, yeah, we did go to, you know, like the lottery point, like lottery ticket point to get some lottery tickets. I didn't win, and I think in the end I spent, like, I lost $3. But yeah, we were just gambling a little bit. That's actually like part of the tradition. Like after the dinner on Chinese New Year's Eve, you go to the, like, you go get some lottery tickets and like the scratch tickets, and yeah, you gamble a little. But it's fun. It's mostly for fun. Like, it's mostly like you don't expect to win much, but hey, I mean, one day it might happen. So Melissa, hi, thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate all the well wishes, everyone. You all show why this is the best community. It is the best community. You guys, thank you so much for being a part of my community, for being a part of Angry Mob, and I hope you enjoy this stream. Okay, so now that we've discussed what was my mind blown away? I don't know, blown. Now that we've discussed how I got my mind blown today, this morning, on this beautiful morning, we can move on to the cases. So today we're discussing cases where it's the internet sleuths that solved the murder, that actually played the key role in solving the murder. Okay, let me switch the... Oh, actually, before I go to the cases, before I begin, I just wanted to remind you guys that Valentine's Day is coming up, and that also means Valentine's Day prints, Sona prints. So if you feel like, you know what, sometimes, you know how sometimes you feel like you're being watched? No, just me? Okay. But you know, if you don't feel that way, if you don't feel that way and you wanna feel that way, you wanna feel like someone is watching you, bam, you can get a print, and then I'm watching you. Well, I'm watching over you, okay? There's a difference. I'm not spying on you. I'm just watching over you. I'm telling you, this is for protection. This is it has a spell, you know? It has a spell. It has a protective spell. I'm a wizard. Or I'm a lizard. But yeah, you can get the print. You can get a very nice print, and it's available now on my Patreon. So you can go to my Patreon, check it out, and get some more bonuses because, yeah. And the campaign, because, yeah, I don't know why. That's the best reason I can give you, because, yeah. And also the campaign ends on the 28th of February. So, you know, limited time offer. And that is it. So, thank you so much for joining the stream. Stay safe out there. Always lock your doors and windows. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. We're just beginning. We're just starting. Okay. So today we're talking about cases that were solved by internet sleuths. Like, in the end, yes, obviously police was involved, like police were involved, detectives were involved, investigation was going on, but at the bottom, like at the, you know, the bottom line is, it's the internet true crime enthusiasts and the actual like hackers or just very passionate people, amateur detectives that got to the bottom of the case and solved it. And I'm gonna warn you, okay, I do have to warn you about one thing, because some of the cases are gonna be painful, mentally and physically, well, I mean, maybe not physically, but mentally painful to listen to, and mentally painful to see some of the pictures. So I'm warning you, some of the cases are gonna be gruesome. There will be graphic description of some of the murders. So if you aren't, like if you're very sensitive, if you're not for those descriptions, if you aren't really comfortable with, you know, listening to those kind of cases, I advise you to click away, to not listen to the stream. Especially the first case. So the first case, I think, is gonna be the worst. I'm most familiar with this first case because I watched this one documentary, and I also kind of advise you not to watch the documentary if you're too sensitive and you can't really handle something like that, like these kind of stories, and I'm gonna explain why. Also, Jose, thank you so much for the super. Big Sister Sona is watching. Play innocent. Exactly. I am watching you. Okay. So there was this documentary a couple of years ago. It was in 2019, and Netflix released this documentary titled Don't Fuck with Cats. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this case. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe you're familiar with the documentary. I have to tell you, it was probably the most painful and hard to watch true crime documentary I've ever seen. And I literally had to, like, you know, usually when I watch true crime documentaries, I do, like, I can handle it, and I do so, like, within, like, one kind of go. So, like, even if it's several episodes, I just finish the case, right? Like, for this one, I had to split it over 3 days. I don't think I can, I think it's in 3 parts, like 3 episodes. I had to split it. I couldn't watch it in one go. It was too much, like, it was too much to handle. So, it's a heavy case. It's a terrifying case. It's a horrible story, and yeah, I couldn't handle it in one go. I was just like, no, for my mental, like, peace, I actually had to stop, and I had to, like, move it to, like, over several days I was watching it. Okay, so it all started with cats, because in 2010 there was this anonymous account on YouTube that posted a video titled 1 Boy, 2 Kittens. And In this video, an individual wearing a hoodie and what appears to be a wig, he takes 2 kittens, he puts them in a plastic bag and uses a vacuum cleaner to suck the air out of the bag, and this subsequently suffocates the little kittens. The documentary didn't really show the video, like it showed parts of the video, and even that was very terrible to watch. Like that was even hard to watch, even though it didn't really show the exact moment. It did play the sounds a little bit, and that was horrible to watch. I know, right? Like, so this guy posts this video, straight up posts the video to YouTube, right? The video obviously goes viral. It shocks the internet in the worst way possible, and it sparks this widespread outrage, and anyone and everyone is trying to figure out who this person is, who is this guy, and how to get them locked up for animal cruelty, you know, like for this horrible crime. Everyone who's seen this video is worried that he will do something like that again. And, you know, they're trying to report this video to the police, but police really doesn't really like react because they think it's a snuff film. Like they're just saying like, oh, it's just a YouTube, it's just a clickbait, it's just you know, like it's banking on shock value, it's not real, this is probably just snuff film, this is probably just like a fake. So they don't really react, right? And people are worried. They're like, this guy looks serious, this looks real, he might do this again. And he does, because only several days later the same account uploads another video, and again the person involved is, you know, hiding behind like a wig, and he, like this dark wig, and this time the video shows how he takes a kitten and drowns it in a bathtub. And then the third video is uploaded. Still, the police is not really doing anything. You're like, yeah, they're kind of looking into it, but they still think it's not real. They still think it's not that serious. And then he uploads another video. And this time, this psycho feeds a kitten to a python. So to a snake. And everything is recorded. Bro, what the fuck? I know, right? Dorothy, thank you so much for the super. Tried to send earlier. Happy year of the Dragon Sona. Found out because I was born in January. I'm a horse. My element is metal. My sign is motorcycle. Oh. My sign is motorcycle? What? Hold up. But, okay. Sorry for laughing, but like this. Nice super. My sign. This kind of threw me off. Oh my god. My sign is motorcycle. My sign is Harley Davidson. Okay, so as I said, what kind of world do we live in where something like this appears and nothing is done about it? I know, like, it was, like, the documentary did mention, like, literally, they talk about how, you know, people on the internet were reporting these videos, and they were trying to get the police to react to this and get this guy, but then the police weren't doing much, and they were like, well, we can't really tell where he is, we can't really tell, like, oh, who he is, and also it's probably not real or something. So they were kind of dismissing it. And as I said, like, he kept uploading those videos, and the cats were dying in the worst way possible. And the gruesome videos quickly reached the farthest corners of the internet, again, because of their absolutely, like, disgusting content. And eventually they end up shared within a private Facebook group focused specifically on tracking down this guy who they now dubbed the Vacuum Kitten Killer. And this Netflix documentary focuses on 2 prominent members of this group. Their names were John Green, this guy was from LA, and Dana Thompson, and she was using the nickname on Facebook that's called, the nickname was Body Movan, and it's spelled like BAUDIMOOVAN, so it's not Body Movin', but like Body Movan. That's why I'm saying, like, in my Patreon stream, everyone was confused because I said, oh, if if I get murdered, I want these two guys, like these two people, to solve my murder. I want to be, you know, I want my murder to be solved by John Green. Just call John Green and Bonnie move on. Like that, they're gonna get it done. And I'm gonna tell you why, because these two are absolutely awesome. Like they did so much more than the police have. They are on a hunt, they're out for this guy. Like they're motivated to get this guy arrested, right? So Dana was actually a Las Vegas resident and a casino data analyst. And the two of them, like they both had, they were both animal lovers, and they definitely were upset, outraged by these videos that were going viral of these kittens being killed in such a horrible way. So the two of them specifically worked day and night for thousands and thousands of hours to figure out who the psycho is. But they never, not in their wildest dreams, thought that it would be the start of years-long international manhunt and a murder case. The FBI, not FBI. So this Facebook groups, the group's sleuths, right, including John and Dana, eventually figured out, like, I can't tell you how, but they did figure out the identity of the suspect. And again, don't ask me how, because it was a whole crazy process. Like they were using everything on the internet. Like you wouldn't imagine, like you wouldn't figure out like, oh, this can be used to identify someone, but they were like super smart about it. And they figured out who this person is, and hats off to them, because it was not easy. I really encourage you guys to, well, watch the documentary if you can handle it. You know, just proceed with caution. Sana, please. I'm sorry. I just realized this was 2010. There were proper rights for pets. They weren't proper rights for pets yet. Yeah. Like, I think like police, that's why like partially why detectives, like just police weren't really treating this case seriously, because they're like, well, they're just cats, and you know, like, oh, we don't know if it's even real. Oh, it was real. It was absolutely 100% real. Okay, so these two, they figure out who this person is, and they locate this guy, and turns out that the suspect's name is Luca Rocco Magnotta, and he is this young guy from Ontario, Canada. I think he was a student, part-time model. By the way, this is not his real name. Like Luca Magnotta, that's not his name. It's kind of like his stage name. Like he just wanted it to sound cooler or something. Since, you know, like he was working as a model and I think as a porn star or something. So like it was kind of like his stage name again. His legal name is Eric Clinton Kirk Newman. Just not a porn star name, I guess. But on the internet, he is known as Luca Magnotta. So the internet sleuths immediately report their findings to the police, to the authorities. You know, like Dana and John at the very forefront of this case. They're just transferring, like they're just giving the police everything, right? They've got all the evidence that Luca is the guy responsible for those gross videos, and they express their concern that this may not be over. Like this may have started with animal cruelty, but it might end in a bigger tragedy. They're like concerned that this is just one step, and he's not gonna be satisfied with just animals. He's gonna move on to people, and nothing happened. You know, I don't remember why he wasn't immediately arrested, since, you know, police had all that evidence. Like they knew that this is the guy who uploaded those videos. But it seems like the reason was, like, it seems like they just didn't treat it seriously. That's one. And two, they just didn't want to bother, because Luca was apparently traveling to different countries for work. And so it was hard to actually catch him back in Canada. Like, I don't know, like it was just, they were just having a hard time. Like, I mean, I don't even know if they were having a hard time or if they just simply didn't treat it seriously. Yeah, like I think they didn't treat the evidence gathered by the Facebook group as like serious enough, which is fucking stupid, because we know how it ends. So the point is, he was not arrested at the time, which ended up being a huge mistake, because on May 24th, 2012, there's this guy named Jun Lin. He's a 33-year-old Chinese international student. And that day, he gets a text message on his phone at around 9 p.m. And his friends didn't really know who this message was from. But he kind of just, you know, excused himself. He left the dorm. He's just like, oh, I have to go out. I have to head out. And he leaves the dorm, he leaves his apartment, he leaves his friends, and that was the last time anyone heard from him. The following day, June doesn't show up to his shift at work, and people start getting seriously worried because, you know, he's no contact, MIA, like he's nowhere to be seen. Unbeknownst to Lynn's family and friends, at the time on May 25th, so that's a day after he disappeared, an 11-minute video is uploaded to this platform that's called bestscore.com. And the video is titled "One Lunatic, One Ice Pick." And the video shows a naked man on the bed, spread on the bed, tied to the bed frame, and then another person covering their face with a dark hoodie. This person gets closer to the bed and then proceeds to stab this naked guy repeatedly with what appears to be an ice pick. Although later it turns out to be a screwdriver and then a kitchen knife. And then in this video, the suspect proceeds to dismember the body, the victim. And then he performs acts of necrophilia on the body as the video is going. And authorities later also announced that they, you know, much later when the case was kind of getting solved, like they announced that they got an extended version of this video, and there were some acts of cannibalism as well in this video. So this is obviously a screenshot from the video. I wouldn't show anything else because the video is very graphic. I did not see, you know, I saw some parts of the video in the documentary. Obviously nothing was shown. I have to say though, as for screenshots, unfortunately, like as I was researching this case, unfortunately people upload all, I don't know why, like I don't like this, but as I was looking for pictures, just pictures of June or pictures of the suspect, I did come across some pretty gruesome screenshots. I did come across a photo of June's head. And I don't know who uploaded this, like why was this uploaded, but yeah, unfortunately I did come across this. I wouldn't show this here because why would I show this, but yeah, this was a complete accident. I can't forget it. I think I will need a break after this because holy shit. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. It was not like it. Yeah, I don't even know, like I can't find words because I just came across it completely by accident. And it was like just Google search. Like I wasn't even digging deep. I was just Googling like, okay, you know, this case and like just the pictures, not of the video, like not even video. I just typed in like the case, like, oh, June Lin case or like Luca Magnotta case. I'm not kidding. As I was going, like I was scrolling through the searches, like suddenly I saw this picture, whoever uploaded this picture to, and it's a real picture. I'm pretty sure it's a real picture. Like it doesn't look photoshopped. It looks like the website I think was like about the case, which, you know, I gotta say kind of fuck you to this person because I didn't want to see this, and oh well. Doing the gruesome legwork for us. I'm sorry you had to see that. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Like I know it's the risk. I know it's like, you know, I kind of expected, I kind of was bracing myself for the possibility that there might be some gruesome pictures. I just didn't think it would be that terrible. So yeah. Headpads for Sona, thank you. Headpads for me. Okay, so as I said, the video was terrible. It went on for 11 minutes and that was the cut up part. Like that was the cut up version. The police got the longer version with like cannibalism in it and different and all the other like additional gruesome parts. And then the following day on May 26th, so June disappears on 24th. Then on the 25th, the video is uploaded. And on the 26th, an attorney from Montreal who stumbled upon this video attempted to report it to Toronto police and the FBI. And again, they actually dismissed this report pretty much because they were thinking that this isn't real. This is like some kind of messed up fetish, porn, I don't know. Like, they just thought this was not real. Big mistake. A few days later, on May 29th, 2012, a package with a human foot inside was delivered to the national headquarters of the Conservative Party of Canada, and the package was marked with a heart symbol. And then another package, this time with a left hand, was found in a Canadian post-processing facility, and it was going to be delivered to the headquarters of the Liberal Party of Canada. Bro, what? Yeah, I know, like this was supposed to be, mind you, this was supposed to be true crime briefing. I wasn't supposed to like go into too much detail for this case, but then I started writing and it just, yeah, I forgot how crazy this case was, and I do have to like cover it, maybe like a separate video or something. This guy is super, yeah, this guy is really crazy. He's psycho. He's a crazy nutcase. So this left hand is delivered to the headquarters of the Liberal Party, and then a janitor at an apartment building in the Snowdon area of Montreal discovered a dismembered torso stuffed inside a suitcase and left in a garbage pile in the alley behind the building. And he said the first time he noticed the suitcase was on May 25th, so when the video was uploaded. But because of the amount of garbage that day, the suitcase wasn't taken with the garbage, so it was just left behind. So the janitor calls the police, and when the officers searched that scene, they discovered more and more body parts, bloody clothes, and the murder weapons. So the screwdriver, the kitchen knife. And later, when they watched the surveillance footage from the building and the garbage area, surprise, surprise, because they saw none other than Luca Magnotta carrying numerous plastic bags. He was carrying a number of plastic bags, in and out of the towards the garbage to the garbage area, and he also matched the person who delivered the bloody package to the post office. And later, they also found footage of Luca entering his building. This was like where he lived. So entering the building in the company of the missing student, Junlin. Mind you, do you guys see something interesting in those screenshots? Have you noticed that he's wearing the same shirt? He's wearing Jun's shirt. Like, this is after the murder. This is before. Like, the guy in the yellow shirt is Junlin. So Luca just straight up took his shirt, took his t-shirt, and now he's wearing the t-shirt, the same t-shirt. It's terrible. So Lynn and Magnotta were believed to have had some prior contact, like possibly through an online dating website, and this was supposed to be a date. Well, at least that's what June thought. This was supposed to be kind of a hookup, but it ended very badly for him. Mind you, in the package sent to the Conservative Party, the suspect included a note that said that 6 packages with body parts were distributed and that he was planning to kill again. This was not going to be just one-time murder. And some other packages, if I remember correctly, because I don't have it written down, but if I remember correctly, there were several other packages that got sent to different schools in the area with other body parts like hands, hands and another foot, I think. So there were 6 packages. But by the time, the police connected Luca to Junlin's murder, because they identified by those packages, the DNA test came back as Junlin. They knew that the torso was also his. The body parts from the building were also his, and obviously in the packages, those were Junlin's body parts. But by the time they made this connection that they were going to arrest Luca Magnotta, Luca fled the country. He was out of the country. He was not in Canada anymore. So on May 31st, Interpol issued a red notice for Magnotta, and so the manhunt began. And it's known that Luca purchased a plane ticket to Paris on May 25th. So he bounced right after the murder. He bounced before anyone could discover that, oh, he is linked to this. So before any notice could be sent, no one knew. So he just used his passport and he just left the country. He fled to Paris. And when he was there, I think he used like a fake passport, if I remember correctly. Like he used a fake passport to buy a ticket, a train ticket. Oh no, sorry. He used a fake passport to stay at a hotel. But by the time police arrived at this hotel, Luca was already gone because he also bought a train ticket, Euroline's bus, Euroline's bus ticket bound for Berlin, Germany, and he fled to Germany this time. Luckily, eventually, like, Luca was arrested by Berlin police because by this point, like, there was Interpol red notice. Everyone was on the lookout for him, and he was. Who's June? June is the victim. This is the victim of this case. Like, he was murdered by Luca. So Junlin is the victim, and Luca is the killer. Okay, so eventually, he got to Berlin, and Berlin police arrested him because they saw him at an internet cafe. Wait, this is not the one. Oh, I think it's this one. Yeah. So they got a tip from, they were tipped off by the owner of the internet cafe because Luca walked in, and they arrested him as he was looking up news stories about himself in that, at that internet cafe. He was later extradited back to Canada and put on trial, where he received a life sentence with the possibility of parole after 25 years. I think he was pleading innocent. He was pleading innocence through, I think, like, mental illness. I'm not sure, like, he was claiming that he was mentally ill and he was not in his right mind, and like, all of this happened not, like, oh no, he wasn't really himself, and he didn't mean to, and he was just mentally ill and he needed help, and that's how it ended. That's why he murdered June. Like, it wasn't actually his fault. Like, to the end, like, he was just like, that's not my fault. So fuck this guy. He got life sentence with the possibility of parole after 25 years, and he also got a 19-year sentence for other charges to be served concurrently. What a fucking narcissistic asshat. Yeah. Again, like, whenever I talk about this case, like, even now, like, you can tell that my voice is kind of like, oh my god, why? Because this story, I think this is possibly the worst story I've ever. Like, I know that I say that a lot, like, oh, this is one of the worst cases I've ever, like, heard about or read about. But I don't think none of the cases that I've ever kind of researched and watched in the documentary, none of them, like, shook me as much as this one. Because the documentary was very hard to watch. The case is very hard to read about and think about, and I think the picture that I found just reminded me of how horrible this case was, and yeah, I didn't have to see that picture, but yeah, I would not. Yeah, you guys just don't look up this case. I would just tell you right now, don't Google pictures. Like, definitely don't Google pictures, because you're gonna probably get that picture and you don't want to see that. So yeah, like, I just, just friendly advice, do not look up this case, especially on Google Images. Yeah, it's a messed up case. I've seen the documentary, yeah, right? Like, Queen, it's such a hard documentary to watch. Like, I don't know, like, I was not able to watch it in one go. Too late. What? Sydney, why? No, don't look it up. Don't look it up. Oh, get bent. Wasn't in his right mind. He had the right mind to post this crap on the internet and flee the country, right? It's just like all of those steps. You've taken so many like precautions. Like, oh, you fled the country. You were planning this. This was premeditated and you were not in your right mind. This was not a crime of passion. This was planned every step of the way. Plus the packages, like, come on, plus the note that you were saying, like, oh, there are 6 packages and I'm gonna send all of them and this is not gonna be my last killing. Like, that's, yeah, you're not mentally, I mean, yeah, you're not mentally ill, you're just a fucking psycho. Kyle, hi! The airsofter, hi. Wait, am I reading this correctly? The airsofter, hello, welcome. I think I'll take Sona's advice. Yeah, don't look it up, don't Google it, yeah, it's gonna need a couple of game streams with members after this. Yeah, it's really difficult to watch. We appreciate it, Sona. It sucks you found such a horrible stuff to report to us about. Yeah, like I just forgot how terrible this case was. Because it's been a while, right? Like the documentary came out in 2019. I thought it was just like, maybe I was exaggerating it in my memory. Like, oh, it wasn't that bad. Like, I mean, yeah, it was terrible case, but I thought it wasn't that, like I wouldn't be affected as much, but like after researching this case again and just remembering all those details and remembering about the, you know, just seeing June's face and oh my god. Yeah, it was horrible. Yeah, okay. Okay, so that's one case. We still have 3. Ah! The things she does for us, yes. The things she do for us. Indeed. Ah. DJ, hi! DJ Kyler, hi! Thank you so much for tuning the stream. Yes, tuning out the stream. Tune out the stream if you don't want to listen about gruesome graphic stuff. That was one. That is just one case. One. We have 3 more. Well, not the same guy, obviously. This guy is locked up and he's gonna stay there for life, hopefully. IDK, thank you so much. Drinky fun. That was some heavy shit. It was. Wait, let me just take a sip of my drink. Hooray! We're already through 1, and my blood already at a premium boil. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I know this is, yeah, like oh god. I think this case gets me. It's just like, it gets to me. Not gets me, gets to me. Yeah, it gets to me. Like, it's one of those cases that really get to me, and it's just like, the pictures did not help. Okay, sorry you go through this for us, Sona. No worries. Like, I do want to talk about this. It's just, yeah, I guess, like, I didn't expect it to remember as, like, how heavy it was and, like, how it affected me before. And it was like, oh, yeah. It's worse than I thought. Okay, so as for the next case, in April of 2001, there's this truck driver, Ronald Telfer, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but a retired trucker. He arrives at a truck stop in Kearney, Missouri, and this town, this truck spot is located at the crossroads of Interstate 35 and Highway 92 in northeast of Kansas City. And this trucker notices something pretty strange. Like, I mean, not strange, but like he notices something in the rear parking lot. There's this plastic bucket. This is not the bucket. This is just a picture to just an example picture. The bucket was actually white, but he notices this bucket, and he did remember seeing the same bucket in that same spot a month before. And so he assumed that someone simply dumped it there, like, you know, this is just garbage, like no one is going to like pick it up. Maybe it was filled with garbage or something. But upon closer inspection, he discovers that this bucket was loaded with solidified concrete. And he kind of found it strange. He's just like, well, that's a very weird thing to just like leave behind. Maybe someone was doing some construction and they were just they just had this bucket on his truck or something, and maybe they were just moving stuff around, they left it behind. But you know, whatever. Like, he's just like, oh, you know what, it's solidified. I'm not gonna mess with that. But later, he returned to the same spot on this same day, and he saw that the bucket, which was like 5-gallon bucket, remained in place. And so it was safe to assume that no one was coming back for it. I don't know, call it a like natural curiosity, but Ronald attempted to kind of forcefully strike it against the pavement, only to be met with this pungent odor emanating from inside of the bucket and whatever was, you know, in there. And the top kind of like cracked off, the top of the concrete or something, and when he took a peek inside, he saw what looked like meat and skin, and it was definitely rotting, right? At the same time, he thought, okay, well, it's a weird way to dispose of animal remains. It's probably animal remains. And, you know, he kind of apparently wasn't that weird. He's just like, yeah, I've seen it before. I've seen this before. Like, people just wanna maybe dispose of some animal remains and they just put it in concrete, and, you know, that's how they just like dump it at a random spot. Yeah, apparently, like, it's just not that weird. So he simply dumped the contents of the bucket, like this, the concrete that kind of like came out, and he took the container with him. Why? I don't know, like the explanation was basically he wanted to clean it and use it for feeding his pigs or something. He's just like, well, I could use a bucket like that. So whatever, he just dumped the contents. But here's the plot twist. Several months later, on August 27th, this construction worker, Franklin Ray Dean, he was maneuvering his truck through that very same parking lot, and then he noticed this concrete cylinder, like, you know, cylindrical shape that in the way of where he wanted to drive his truck through. So he gets out of the truck, he gets out of the car, and as he attempted to push the obstacle aside, he was not only hit with the worst odor ever, he also noticed strands of hair and what appeared to be a human skull emerging from the top. After emergency services were notified, Detective Fred Ferguson from the Kearney Police Department arrived on the scene. And beneath the layers of peeling gray paint and concrete, yeah, there was a human jaw. And it revealed itself, right? And so then the investigation, years-long investigation extending to 4 different states, had begun. As the investigators in Missouri are trying to identify this human skull, this head, because it was a head in the concrete. Someone dumped human head in the concrete, right? So as investigators in Missouri are trying to identify this head, miles away in Iowa, local police had a puzzling missing persons case on their hands that they couldn't quite crack for, you know, several years. The case of a very, very talented tattoo artist, Gregory May. So Greg initially ran a tattoo studio in Lake Geneva in Wisconsin for over 20 years. He was like probably like he was called the fastest tattoo artist and most talented tattoo artist in the Midwest. So like he's running this tattoo salon, like the studio in Wisconsin, but at the end of 2000, he moved to Bellevue, Iowa. And only a few months after he moved to Bellevue, his ex-wife and children who lived in California stopped hearing from him. At first, they weren't exactly alarmed because, see, Greg had another huge passion, and it was his collection of Civil War memorabilia. And he was quite an expert when it comes to like antiques, and his family knew him for kind of going no contact or like off the grid if he was out of town trying to track down some rare antique item. So he would like go silent, go quiet for like several days, or, you know, like for quite a long time. He would just be busy. He would just be focused, you know, because this was his passion. This was actually like his baby, like, oh, this project, you know, like I have this collection, and he was very, very passionate about it. And this is like ultimately what made him happy. So, you know, like he would go off the grid. He would kind of disappear for several days as he was trying to get a hold of this antique item, but then he would return and contact the family again. But this time, when days turned into weeks and then months, they started imagining a much darker scenario. So Greg lived with his roommate, Douglas. I don't know how to read his name, I don't care, and you guys can probably tell why. But yeah, I don't care. Debrin, I guess. Douglas Debrin. I'm just gonna call him Douglas Debrin or Douglas. So Greg lives with this roommate. Well, the roommate lives at Greg's house, Douglas, and Douglas's girlfriend, Julie Miller. So Douglas was an ex-convict, but he was also Greg's best friend, and the two went way back. So Greg wanted to help him. That was his best friend, and he just wanted to kind of help him out after he got out of prison, like gave him a place to stay, right? Greg also started dating this woman named Jan Buman, and as the two were growing closer and the relationship was becoming more serious, they started discussing the possibility to move to Florida together. And then on January 11th, 2001, Jan had just spent several days at Greg's home, and she was about to leave but made plans to meet with Greg later that evening. Before leaving, she made a remark to Greg that she doesn't really like how Douglas looks at her, and she doesn't trust how he behaves in the house, and just overall his demeanor, she doesn't like him, she doesn't trust him, nor does she trust his girlfriend. And then Jen left, and it would be the last time she saw Greg alive. When police investigated Greg's Iowa home, they found it cleaned out. And I mean cleaned out, specifically cleaned out of all of Greg's very valuable Civil War memorabilia. They were all gone. And what's more important, his roommates, Douglas and Julie, they were gone as well. But here's the problem. Investigators did not want to label Greg's disappearance as a murder case because they didn't have the body, right? So they were kind of stuck with this missing persons case. However, there was this internet detective named by the name Ellen Leach, and she had previously helped police solve several other cases like missing persons, murder cases. She was this very experienced internet sleuth. And she definitely did not see this one as a missing persons case. She had a feeling that Greg was not among the living anymore, and maybe his roommate or someone in his life was involved in his death. The fact that they touched his collection, I wouldn't just want justice. I would want his family to get compensation for his collection most likely being sold. You're onto something, because that's kind of what happened. So first things first, this internet sleuth, Ellen Leach, she started keeping an eye out for any antique items from Greg's collection on the internet. And that's because one witness stated that the last time they saw Douglas and Julie was when they were loading what looked like antique items onto Douglas's truck. But there was no Greg in sight. So, they were just taking the collection. Lo and behold, as time went by, items from Greg's collection started appearing at different places, some up for auction in Illinois and some at a museum in Missouri. And they were supposed to, the Missouri items, they were kind of labeled as, oh, they were a donation from Greg, but his family and friends, they knew that he wouldn't part with this collection. Maybe he would lend it out to the museum, but he wouldn't just donate those items. They were that precious to him. So as the authorities were notified, Ellen Leach kind of notified them, they tracked down the address from the auction house, which led to Julie and Douglas, who were now in Arizona. And even though at first they did not admit to anything, soon Julie, this is the only picture I could find. I couldn't find the picture of Douglas, but I don't really care. This is kind of the only shot of Julie. So at first they didn't admit to anything, right? But soon Julie relented, and in exchange for immunity in the murder case, she spilled the beans. Turns out that Douglas strangled Greg Then the two of them moved the body to the basement of Greg's house, and Douglas then proceeded to dismember Greg's body with a chainsaw, while Julie kind of helped him out with a knife. And then they loaded the body parts onto the truck, and they disposed the parts along the Mississippi River. Now, here's the key information. Julie said that they put Greg's head in a bucket of concrete and left it at a truck stop in Missouri. And that information ticked off Ellen, like Ellen's spidey senses, right? So she contacts immediately. This was not the police in Iowa that was contacting the police in Missouri. Ellen contacted authorities in Missouri, and she was asking about, hey, do you guys have any cases? Wouldn't you, like, don't you have a case where the victim's severed head was found in a bucket with concrete at this truck stop? And so they said, actually, we do. And it's we couldn't crack it for quite a while. Like, do you have any information? And she's like, yeah, because it's this case. Like, it's definitely the same case. And, Ellen helped kind of connect those two cases, right? Like from Iowa and Missouri. And they identified the head as Gregory May, and they soon found like other body parts throughout like 2004, 2005. They finally managed to like collect all of the body parts. So yeah, why Douglas? More like Dougal ass. That is fucked up. That is, see, like that, I don't know, like human greed. I have no idea. Like they just wanted to sell the items. I mean, obviously they wanted the money. And from what I remember, the collection was worth about $70,000, so it's a lot of money. So Douglas ended up charged and convicted of first-degree murder and first-degree theft, and was sentenced to life in prison without parole. And Julie, however, like she had a deal, so she was not charged with Greg's murder, but with perjury, and she was sentenced to, from what I know, 5 years in prison. I'm not sure. I think she was also kind of like charged with like helping out with the murder, kind of, but like just involved, or like just making the obstructing the investigation. But yeah, like she was charged with mostly like perjury, and she was sentenced to 5 years in prison, as far as I know. She was out. I mean, obviously she's out. That's also the information that I saw. Like, she is out, but she was low-key. I think she changed her name. I think her name now is not Julie Miller. It's like Julie Anderson. I'm not sure. I thought that's what it was. But like, she changed her name, and she's kind of living low-key, which I don't know. I don't think that's fair to Greg, but what can you do? Like, she made a deal. That's the deal that she got. That's just, wow. There's a lot of things you can mess with, but a guy's precious collection is not one of them. I think it's just sad that it's, like he lost his life because of his best friend. That was like supposedly his best friend, although I'm kind of suspecting that the quote unquote best friend was just using him to stay at his house, to have a place to live for free, and for himself and his girlfriend. And then he just kind of saw the collection, and he was like, well, I can get rich out of it, and no one's gonna look for this guy, or even if they do, I can just dispose of his body in the most horrible way, and they will never find him. And yeah, like, throw his head, just kind of dump his head in a different state, because cases from like across different states are kind of difficult to connect, right? Like, it takes longer. From what I see from true crime documentaries, like, it oftentimes, if it's in the States, oftentimes it's like it just takes so much longer to kind of connect cases from different states, right? It's who you least expect. Yes, it is. Well, I mean, it's just sad. I think it's just sad because, well, is it someone you would least expect? I don't know, because oftentimes the murder is committed by someone you know, someone you're close with, a family member, a husband, a wife, or best friend, or someone you're, like parent or child. I don't know. He lost his life just for some money after his death. Sick. Yeah. They literally saw him as disposable, nothing but free food and a bed. Yeah, like it's just terrible. Like, he just saw him, like, well, Greg saw him as a friend. Douglas saw him as a cash cow, and also, yeah, like the basically, oh, you know, this hotel, free hotel. Cool. Okay, we have two cases to go. I'm just glad that we went through, like, we're just done with the first case, because the first case was the worst, and I could, good thing I didn't save it for the last, because it was, yeah, I would be dreading it. Okay, so this next case starts with this 18-year-old Carleton University student, Nadia Kajoji. I think that's how you pronounce her name. I'm sorry, I apologize if I mispronounced it. But this university is in Ottawa. I guess we're covering, like, we're just focusing on Canada today. But so she's a student at Carleton University in Ottawa, and Ottawa. I keep mispronouncing stuff. It's okay. So she was this bright young woman, skilled at writing poetry, and she had an ambition to, you know, like, her dream was to one day become a lawyer. Unfortunately, in 2007, Nadia started struggling with severe depression, and then on March 9th, 2008, Nadia simply vanished from her dorm room. Without a word to her friends or her family, she left her cell phone and her wallet inside the room, but instead, her ice skates, her jacket, and an ID card were nowhere to be found. The extensive search ensued, and soon the investigators started searching for clues on Nadia's computer, and they find this blood-chilling conversation between Nadia and someone named Cami D. And that is spelled C-A-M-I and then D. Cami D. This Cami, whoever it was, like, this person claimed to be a 20-something years old female nurse from Minneapolis. And the two of them connected online in a chat room and had been talking for a while. You know, they were sharing their feelings, they were kind of confiding in each other, their personal struggles as well. And then the conversation got darker and more concerning. So the two of them began talking about deleting themselves from existence. And yes, I won't use the S word. I don't know, like, YouTube has been, like, I think I use it, maybe, like, I said it in some of my videos, and they're just, I don't know, like, YouTube just doesn't like that word. So the two of them start talking about, yeah, like, an attempt, right? Like, deleting themselves from existence. And Cami at one point suggested to Nadia a pact, an S-pact, that both would unalive themselves together. And Cami said that the best way, according to her medical experience, the best way would be to do it by hanging, saying that that's the easiest option. And from her experience, that's gonna be the fastest and easiest option, right? And least painful, I guess. So Cami also wanted Nadia to, this is the fucked up part, this is the super fucked up part, but Cami suddenly got, like, very strange, like, her conversation, like, the way she was talking got very, very strange. And she suddenly asks Nadia to use a webcam while, you know, while making an attempt. And so she explained, like, Cami explains it, that, oh, this is so that I could, quote unquote, help if you needed help. Like, you needed to, like, I needed to tell you how to adjust the rope, like, correctly. So set up a webcam so that I can see you. Like, I'm not gonna do that too. Like, I'm not gonna set up a webcam. Like, you set up a webcam so I can, quote unquote, help you. However, this is not what happened, because Nadia changed her mind. Like, she didn't tell Cami or anything, but she made a last-minute decision to instead jump from a bridge. And so her body was found in the river on April 20th, 2008. But how does, you know, like, how does an internet sleuth fit into this story? Because, as I said, like, today's cases are all about internet sleuths solving the murder case. So, see, the tragic death of Nadia was not a closed case. And it was a woman from the UK who discovered a much bigger and much more horrifying scheme. Yeah, like this, there's this like woman from the UK, like random woman. I'm gonna explain. So sometime in March 2008, 2008, a woman from the UK by the name Celia Blay. This is the woman. So Celia Blay contacts the Minnesota police by email, and in her message, she tells them, doing Minnesota police, like, why would she? I'm gonna explain that too. We're gonna get to that. So Celia Blay contacts. I know Celia Blay. It kind of sounds like a detective. It sounds like an investigator. I can see that. So she contacts, like, police in Minnesota get this email from this woman from the UK, Celia Blay, and in her message, she tells them that while doing some amateur web sleuthing in different chat rooms, she discovered several users who admitted to being in an unaliving pact with a certain user. And this user, under different aliases, had the same exact strategy and was pushing vulnerable people to an attempt in the same style. See, Celia was a longtime anti-unalive activist, and she often talked to people who were recovering from an attempt or were getting help to prevent one. There was this teenage girl that she talked to, like, there was this thing, like, she was talking to a lot of people who went through this, or, who were going through something terrible. So she had, like, contact with several people, and like, this teenage girl that she talked to revealed to her that she made a pact with a nurse from the US named Lee Dow. So Celia convinced the girl not to do this, obviously, and, sever all contact with this nurse that was convincing her to, to make an attempt and to make this pact with her. But at the same time, Celia decided to investigate this nurse further because she found it very sketchy. She found it very suspicious. Like, why would this person do this? This is not, like, this doesn't sound like this person even is real. And that's how she found other people who were in a similar pact with either the same user, so the nurse Li Dao, or another person who talked in a similar way. So this person, the suspect, would ask people to hang themselves in front of webcams, but the supposed nurse herself would never go through with it. And turns out that this user's names were either Li Dao or Falcon Girl or Cami D. So Celia then decided to set a trap, and she recruited a friend to help her with a sting operation to catch this killer. And this friend was previously struggling with, S thoughts, but has already recovered. And so they agreed to help, this friend agreed to help Celia. The friend and Celia would find this person, like the friend was pretending to, be in that chat room and talk to different people, like was pretending to talk to this person and make a pact or something. So the friend and Celia found this person. Eventually, they found this person's IP address that pointed to the house of a man named William Melkert Dinkle. And he was a nurse from Minnesota. He was located in Minnesota. After that, more information and victims came to light. And apparently, William made a pact, or he was trying to make a pact with 20 people, at least 20 people. And then he made this pact with about 10 people, and unfortunately 5 of those people ended up going through with the plan, and he wanted to watch their webcam recording for, and this is what he told the police, for, quote, thrill of the chase, end quote, which, he admitted when he was arrested. This guy, mind you, he was 47 years old, he was married, and he had 2 teenage daughters. Meanwhile, he was spying on teenage people, like teenagers or young adults, to unalive themselves. What a piece of shit. And yeah, so like he was charged, like this is the crazy part, because 5 people died, but he was charged with encouraging and assisting S in 2010. And the sentence is just, you know what, this is just ridiculous. Like, I don't know how it came to that, but the sentence was at first overturned, but later in 2014, he was found guilty again and sentenced to, I think, 5 years probation, or like 5 years, 5 years in prison, and he would be like released early if he complied with the condition. I'm actually not sure, because in the end, like, I think he was sentenced to 5 years, but in the end, he only served 178 days in jail. And he was released in February 2015. So he is out and about and he's free. And I can only hope, I don't know if they're controlling him. I don't know if they're, you know, he's under any surveillance, supervision. I have no idea. Like, it's, all the article said is that, oh, he's living a low-key life, might have changed his name, and he might possibly be still in Minnesota, but, you know, not sure. And he just, yeah, he just kind of disappeared. I don't know if he has access to the internet, probably, but it's kind of crazy. That's bullshit. Where's the, yeah, I don't think it's justice. Like, I absolutely do not think that this was a fair sentence. Like, 5 years, and he spent like barely a year, like half a year. Like, why? 6 months in prison, just 6 months in prison for causing 5 people to die, to take their own lives. Great. Okay. This is the third case. We still have one more case. I love how this, there are people in jail for weed and they serve like 15 years. That's the crazy part. Like, that's the, yeah, absolutely. Like, I agree with you. It's crazy how there's such an imbalance, and like, in sentences for different crimes, like, you would think that this would be a crime that you would get 15 years for, like five lives, 5 people lost, and you are attempting to do this to 10 or 20 people, or however the fuck many, because he would not have stopped had he not been caught. Like, he would have just gone, you know, continued, so more people would have died. Fucking piece of shit. Time to get vengeance. Well, I don't know. I don't know where he is. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know. I hope that he doesn't have access to any of those chat rooms anymore, anyone else. Like, I hope that he's just, whatever. Like, even if he's free, I hope that he's just not, yeah, he's just going about his life, whatever. Like, just not, he doesn't have access to these things anymore. And he doesn't, you know, he can't work as a nurse. He can't work with people. I don't know. Yeah, the justice system is terrible. It's not a just system. It makes no sense. Yeah, it makes no sense. Like, especially, yeah, like, especially, I have to say, like, especially the imbalance. Is it imbalance? I'm looking for a better word, but like, well, unfair, or like imbalance in like the, how long the sentences are for different crimes that are just like, okay, possession of weed, 15 years. Meanwhile, causing 5 people, convincing 5 people to delete themselves, 6 months. How does that make sense? How? And to film themselves, which I'm pretty sure he got some of those videos. So he watched some of those videos, because that's, you know, he was successful 5 times. So yeah, I don't know. Okay, the last case. So let me ask you a question. What would you do if you won a $30 million lottery jackpot? Because most people, I think, would imagine that, oh, would think that winning a lottery is a dream come true. I mean, it has to be great, right? Well, not always. It wasn't Abraham Shakespeare's dream to be murdered because of his lottery win. On November 15th, 2006, Abraham and his co-worker, Michael Ford, were on the road. They were heading for Miami, and they made a pit stop at this little town called Frostproof in Florida. They stopped at a convenience store to buy some drinks, cigarettes, snacks, and, you know, take a break from driving. And while the co-worker got out of the car to go to the store, he asks Abraham if he wants anything. He wants a soda or something. And Abraham instead gives Michael $2 and asks him to buy 2 lottery tickets. As it turns out, one of them was a winning ticket, and Abraham suddenly was in possession of a $30 million ticket. and he soon chose to cash out a one-time lump sum of $17 million. By the way, the coworker, because this is like a fucking, this is the ridiculous part too, but the coworker, Michael Ford, he later like demanded, he approached Abraham after the win, you know, after he realized that Abraham won, he demanded that Abraham gave him at least $1 million, basically because he was the one buying the ticket, right? And when Abraham refused, Ford actually sued him. And then suddenly his story changed in front of the judge. Now Michael Ford was saying that Abraham stole the lottery tickets from his wallet. So actually those tickets were his. But luckily the jury did not believe him and they were having none of that and ruled in Abraham's favor. So, because fuck this guy, Michael Ford. Michael Ford, sincerely, fuck you. But yeah, no, for your greed. It was Abraham's money though. Yeah, like it was his money though. So money. I keep saying money though. So yeah, like the guy, fuck this guy because he was greedy and he wanted the money. It was not his money. Like it was not even his money that bought the ticket. So like, no, okay, you just walked to the convenience store and yes, got the tickets. Cool, but that, not your money. Like had it been his money, I guess like maybe like, oh, if he bought it with his own money, okay, yeah, like he has some kind of standing ground, like he has some reason to kind of fight that, oh, okay, this was bought with my money, but it wasn't even his money, so like, what the fuck. So Abraham got the money that was rightfully his and immediately moved to from his, like the working class kind of area to an upscale gated community. He bought a $1 million house. Mind you, like he wasn't really spending the money much. Like this is the major purchases that he made with that money was like the house for $1 million. And then I think he bought a car, like this Nissan car, and then a Rolex from a pawn shop. So those were the three kind of major purchases that he made with the money, but otherwise he wasn't really spending it. And yet, when Abraham goes missing on November 9th, 2009, his family and friends were concerned about his safety. See, not only did he disappear, his money was also gone from his account. Not a cent was left. And the family, the friends, like his close friends, his close family, they knew that he wasn't spending it. He didn't want to spend it. He was just like, okay, well, the big purchases, the house, the important stuff, but I'm not gonna like spend it left and right. But, like they were concerned. So family told the police that Abraham has been struggling with people trying to approach him, get close to him to get money out of him. So like those, what is it called? Like hanging ons. But yeah, like more and more people, like they were just kind of, crowding him and, well, not crowding, but yeah, like just kind of coming to him like, I don't know, flies to fire or something, flies to light, moths to light. Flies to fire, moths to light. I have the best okay, anyway, lagging, buffering, brain buffering, big brain time. Most people who win the lottery end up spending it, their wins in 5 years. I think most people, there's several like very sad stories. Like some people, like it's sudden, like it's considered to be actually bad luck if you win the lottery, because there were quite a few cases where a person either got murdered, got killed because of the lottery. Like, especially if they revealed their name, right? Like, oh, everyone knows who won the lottery. Yeah, like they get robbed, they get murdered, or a lot of, like, there were several cases where people, got that money, like they got rich, and then they got into drugs and they overdosed. So, yeah, it's a kind of a curse in disguise of a blessing. Okay, so gold diggers, yeah, kind of. Yeah, like, gold diggers. I guess gold diggers are more like, oh, the romantic partner, they're trying to get to you that way, but these were just people, like, they're not, they weren't seeking, like, romantic relationship with Abraham. They were just, they were just there, like, suddenly had so many best friends. Like, he was saying, like, I thought all of those people were my friends, but they were not. They were just in it for the money. Like, before, they were just ignoring me, and now, suddenly, they just hang out with me so much. So he was struggling, with these people kind of trying to get close to him, to get money out of him. And while they were hoping, the family and friends, you know, they were hoping that he decided to, you know, they had hope to the last moment. They thought like, oh, maybe he decided to quietly move and take his wealth along with him. But they were also worried that something much worse happened because of the money. Their worries were confirmed when in January 2010, Abraham's body was found buried under a concrete slab on one of local properties. Investigators believe that he was murdered, and they now had to catch whoever did this to him. By the way, they even found the body. The body was like found because of a mysterious like tip-off. And so before police found Abraham's body, there was this one woman named Doris Dee Moore. She suddenly became Abraham's business partner and financial advisor, and helped him launch his own company, Abraham Shakespeare LLC. And she started claiming that Abraham decided to take his money and leave town because of all the greedy people who were trying to extort the money from him, like get the money from him. She was first saying that he went to Texas, then she changed her story, said that he went to Jamaica, then she said like, oh, he actually moved to Puerto Rico, and so on, different places. Then she would say something that, oh, he's sick in a hospital and no one knew where this hospital is, like which hospital is it, like what is he sick with, like what's happening, and she wouldn't say. Also, a little plot twist, the property where the body was found was actually under the name of one of Dee Dee's friends. But then the case gets weirder because Abraham's friends, you know, like the police kind of are eyeing this Dee Dee because she's their prime suspect. She even moved into Abraham's house. But I'm gonna say this, like the case gets weirder. Abraham's friends and family start getting texts, and those texts are supposedly from him. You know, like he's kind of updating the family and friends. He's just saying like, oh, you know, I'm okay, everything's fine. I'm just living low key, and I took the money because of the greed and, you know, of people. Like everyone was trying to get the money from me, so I was tired of it, and I had to bounce. I had to skip town. But here's the problem, and I don't think the killer knew about this. The text couldn't be from Abraham because Abraham was illiterate. He couldn't write, he couldn't read. Mind you, the house, Dee Dee Moore and her family moved into Abraham's house, but she claimed that it was all because she was Abraham's financial advisor and had the responsibility to protect his assets. And she had full control over Abraham's money, but somehow managed to, you know, make it look like he took the money and skipped town. This idea is the same as Melissa, who sucks at lying. What? Wait, am I missing something? But damn, she was able to move into his house because vague as hell reasons. Yeah, like vague as hell. Like I would have to dig deeper into this case because, as I said, like you know, this is just a brief kind of covering. Like I'm just covering cases briefly. I'm pretty sure there was like more planning on her side, but yeah, like she made it look like Abraham took the money out and cleaned out his account and bounced town. So like for now, you know, Dee Dee was the prime suspect, but cops again didn't have any hard evidence at that point that she was connected to his murder. At the same time, members of an internet community, Web Sleuths, began investigating, and they started posting about the case with all the evidence and the very suspicious phone activity from Abraham. And they started pointing specifically at Dee Dee Moore because she's a walking red flag and she's absolutely guilty. And, you know, police just needed something that would prove that, hey, she's the one that killed him and, you know, like she's the one connected to this case. So here's how Dee Dee kind of outed herself. Like it was kind of like a push to out herself as the suspect, their suspect. So she couldn't handle the online criticism and suspicions of her. So she logged in on forums anonymously to pretty much like defend herself. She was like fighting all of those sleuths. And except she forgot that there is something like IP logging, So Web Sleuths site co-owner Trisha Griffith immediately turned his, all the data to the police. I think they found something more on her. I'm not actually sure, but they definitely found the moment she started interacting with this community, like they definitely like hacked, well, I mean, not hacked, like they got data, they got information on her, and they got like, okay, the IP address and stuff. So they were able to turn it all into like to the police and charged and convict Dee Dee with Abraham's murder. I think there was something else, like I think there was like, well, yeah, like the property where, as I said, like the property where the body was found was later, I think later it was discovered. That's when it was like, oh, later it was discovered that it was under Dee Dee's friends or like boyfriends or something like name. So they connected it to Dee Dee, and she murdered Abraham. So his lottery win was actually what ended his life, pretty much. Okay, we're done. This is it. This is it. That's the... that was a lot of talking. That was a lot of information. Those are pretty much the cases that I would love to maybe cover separately. I'm not sure. Like, I think that Jun Lin's case is one of those cases that I would like to cover in a separate stream. I talked about it a lot. I think I gave a lot of information like already, but there's so much more, and I wanted to cover it on one hand. On the other, I forgot how difficult it was to talk about this story, and how heavy this story was, and how just horrifying the pictures were. So I'll think about it. I will have to, I'm gonna have to consider it. If you, wait, I appreciate you going through all of these, all of this, boss. Must have been taxing on you mentally, a little bit, but it's okay. It's okay. I think I underestimated how terrible this case was, like some of these cases were, so yeah. But if you don't know, like I also cover bonus cases. I have bonus like true crime briefing streams, true crime streams, and events on my Patreon. And recently we did, just yesterday, we had another true crime briefing stream in which I covered 2 cases, because there are 2 major cases. Well, there are several cases, but 2 major huge cases that were finally like long-term cold cases, unsolved cases that were finally solved in 2023. One of which was the murder of Tupac Shakur, so the rapper, which, I would like to cover this case maybe here on YouTube, maybe in a separate stream. And then the other one was the murder of Lady of the Dunes. So her identity, because for the longest time she was unknown, like she was unidentified, and finally in 2023 they identified her as Ruth Marie Terry. And yeah, like if you don't know what case I'm talking about, there's this case, like Lady of the Dunes is this case of this woman being found like naked, without hands, with her hands chopped off, her head almost chopped off, and it was connected to the 1975 movie Jaws, because apparently, like, the conspiracy theory was that she was an extra in that movie, because there's a woman who looks very much like her. But yeah, like the case was actually solved, and I did talk about it yesterday in the stream. So yeah, if you're interested, the video is still available on Patreon. You can get access to that. All of the videos that I made, like the streams that I had on Patreon are available. Well, I mean, for the members, right? For the Patreon members. Was she found at the beach? Yeah. She was found at the beach. I think it was like Race Point. What was it? Race Point Dunes. Sorry, Race Point Dunes, and she was found on July 26, 1974. So yeah, like it was close to Provincetown, I believe. Was it? Yeah, it was. Like I just talked about it. I'm kind of scolding myself because I'm like, I just talked about it. What is wrong? What is wrong with you? So yeah, like in the same state where you know, where Jaws was shot, the movie, and yeah, so she was found later and was connected. Like one of the authors, like son of Stephen King, introduced that theory that, oh, this lady might be this extra in the movie. But yeah, for the longest time, this case was unsolved, what, 50 years? And finally they identified her. So she finally has a name. And the story of how she got murdered, also crazy. But yeah, if you're curious, you can go to Patreon. Okay, that is it for today. Thank you so much, you guys. I hope that I didn't like exactly ruin everything, like the day for you. I mean, I know I always say that, like, oh, I hope you're having a good day because I'm about to ruin it for you, but really I don't want to ruin it for you. I just wanna, you know, introduce some interesting cases or missing persons cases, like just raise awareness to those cases. But yeah, I hope I didn't like completely ruin it for you. Do not Google Junlin. Do not Google Junlin's case. I mean, if you can handle it, sure. If you can handle it, I recommend just watching the documentary. Also, Dorothy, thank you so much for another super. These must have taken a mental toll. How about next time a cryptid stream about the beast of Boatman Moor? How does a stream about a big kitty sound? Oh, wait, beast. Wait, hold up. I don't know. This beast of Boatman Moor. Oh, it's British big cats. What? Oh, I didn't know about this. Like a phantom feline known for sightings of a large black cat. The creature is said to prowl the landscape looking for victims. In 1995, the government ordered an official investigation into the existence of the beast, which concluded that there was no variable evidence of a big cat in Boatman Moor. However, it was careful to state, that there was no evidence against it either. Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna save that because that's interesting. That is a very interesting case. I might actually do that. So next week, well, I don't have a, okay, so this is the last stream of this week. I'm not gonna have a stream on Sunday because of Super Bowl. So you guys enjoy Super Bowl. I hope I hope it's the teams that you are rooting for. Unfortunately, it's not the team, and the team that I was cheering for did not get in. But they were close. They got, unfortunately, they lost to 49ers, Lions. Yeah, sports. Yeah, but I won't have a stream on Sunday because everyone is pretty much like watching Super Bowl. So I just want you guys to enjoy your Sunday. Not gonna ruin Sunday for you. Super Bowl Sunday for you. It's already Sunday for me. Oh, okay. Well, for me, like I usually stream on Mondays, like Monday morning. So Sunday in the US, Sunday evening in the US. So I'm not gonna like ruin your Super Bowl Sunday for you. I hope you enjoy Super Bowl and also Super Bowl's commercial, especially one I will be excited to see. Well, yeah, like I'm gonna be watching like halftime and just, yeah. Unfortunately, my team didn't make it into the. Not that I know much about football. I'm just like, yeah, football. Yeah, they weirdly shaped ball, and they're throwing it, and they have to throw it through the fork, or not necessarily, but sometimes they. Oh, and sometimes the referees do the little cute fork sign. I think that's the part that I'm most excited about whenever they do the fork thing. And I'm like, yeah, this is great. Go San Fran. Oh yeah, 49. I think it's 49ers, one is Chiefs, right? Wasn't it? But yeah, I'm like mostly excited about the fork. Little like referees just doing the little fork sign. I do the same. Who do you think? Who do you think will win in Super Bowl? I don't know. Like I kind of don't want the Chiefs to win. Not like no hate on Chiefs, but I'm just kind of like tired. I'm just kind of tired of the whole Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce thing going on. Like I'm just kind of like, everyone is tired of that. Everyone just doesn't want to hear about it. So like if they win, there's just gonna be like even more buzz around it, and I'm done with it. So I'm rooting for 49ers. Oh my god, same, right? Right? It's just annoying. It's terrible. Like, I mean, not terrible. Like, okay, good for them, great. But like, can we focus on football? Because I've noticed a couple of times, like when my friend, like I was watching the Super Bowl games with my friend. Yeah, like they would, especially like Chiefs games, they always zoom in on Taylor. It's always like, it's not even about football. They just zoom in on Taylor and they're like, oh, Taylor is there. It's like who cares? Like literally who cares? Because like you're supposed to be filming the game. Like, what the heck? But yeah, 49ers for the win. I just want the buzz to kind of die down and just everyone to forget. Like, just focus, okay, you know, like the team, that's sports. Taylor, that's music. Let's keep that separate. Well, not separate, but like don't film Taylor when there's a game going on. I don't care either way. My team is the Cowboys. I have state pride. Hey, wait, wait, Dallas, right? Dallas Cowboys. Am I wait, is this correct? Because then San Francisco 49ers and wait, Chiefs. Where are Chiefs from? Wait, don't tell me. Wait, who? Fuck, Chiefs. No, not New York. New York is New York Giants and New York Jets. LA Chargers and LA. Wait, hold up. It's not LA, right? It's not Kansas? Wait, Kentucky. Oh, Kentucky. Oh God, Kansas City Chiefs. Was it Kansas City or Kentucky? Wait, hold up. Wait, Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs. Okay, Kansas City. It is Kansas City Chiefs. Damn. But yeah, well, I was cheering for Detroit Lions. Go Lions! Row. That's exactly how I sounded at the game. When I went to the game, I was just like, "Go Lions! Row, row." Because I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to cheer for them. It was like my first game. Kentucky Chiefs now. FEARSONA's Lions. Rawr. Oh my god. I was like an acoustic kitty. I was like, rawr. Oh my god. Okay, you guys, thank you so much. Ravens, Baltimore. Isn't it Baltimore Ravens? Hey, look at me. Look at me being after a year being an expert in American football. I can recognize a lot of logos. I can name a lot of teams. But my favorite, okay, yeah, like in this one, like in this Super Bowl, I was cheering for Lions, Detroit Lions. But actually my favorite team for unrelated reasons, but my favorite team, well, for reasons unrelated to football, my favorite team is Steelers. Or as I call them, Bumblebees. That's my favorite team, Bumblebees. We should petition, you know, like I have to, maybe I should, this is my official petition for the Steelers to change their name to Bumblebees, please, because it just fits them better. Wait. Oh god. Pittsburgh Steelers, yeah. But Pittsburgh Steelers, aka Pittsburgh Bumblebees. Let's go Fear Lions. Yeah, and I think in this Super Bowl, you know, Steelers didn't really do well, so Lions just kind of, I'm cheering for Lions, but unfortunately, yeah, they lost too. I think Bumblebees would be so much better like a marketing label, or so much like it's such a like good marketing material. They could make it cute. Like a little bumblebee hats. So cute. Oh god, where do we sign the petitions to change that name? In coming soon. I'm gonna release a Google form. Like, sign the petition for Pittsburgh Steelers to change their name to Pittsburgh Bumblebees. Good plushie material, yeah, like they would have like those plush Chubbs Bumblebee hats. It would be great. It's like everyone is flying, everyone is a bumblebee. It's great, and like little wings. It's awesome. They should also like have it like their little wings on their like on the back of their uniforms. It would be great. I don't know, like I have no idea why my friends are laughing at it. Like whenever I mention it, they're like, "No, why? This would be such a terrible idea." I'm like, "What are you guys talking about? It's great. It would be cute. Everyone would be, I'm not kidding. Like everyone would dig it. Everyone would buy it. Buy the merch. Pittsburgh Bumblebees." Sounds good. This needs to be a thing now. And if ever West Virginia gets a team, we're gonna have another petition. The West Virginia Mothmen. They don't see your vision. Yeah, they don't understand my vision. I have such a good vision. Like, oh, good vision. Well, God. My vision is great. And I'm not talking about my eyesight. My eyesight is shit. No, I'm kidding. Like, I have astigmatism. But, yeah, but my vision when it comes to marketing vision for Pittsburgh Bumblebees is great. Okay. You haven't changed a bit, Sona, since came back 6 minutes ago. I haven't... What? What? Whatever do you mean? I'm 6 minutes older. What vision? for Pittsburgh Steelers to be a marketing sensation. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for today. I think that is it. This is it. Just remember, check that parallax effect. Go to your window. See how buildings, when you back away from the window, see how buildings get bigger. It's gonna blow your mind. The marvel of human body. The marvel of human eye. Okay, thank you so much, you guys. I hope I didn't ruin your day, like, completely. Maybe a little bit, but not completely. Thank you so much for tuning into the stream. Stay safe out there. Always lock your doors and windows. Bury your haxes. Until the next time. Bye-bye. I'm sorry, I just saw that. Okay, caught me off guard. I was going to drink and then I saw your super. Shai, thank you so much for the super. Did you know the sixth what? Oh, wait, hold on. The sixth sheep sick is said to be, it is, the toughest tongue twister in English. Jesus Christ. I know, okay, the one that I know in Polish is stół z połamanymi nogami. That's one. That's like, oh, the table with broken legs. Or Król Karol kupił królowej Karolinie korale koloru kolorowego. I can't. Okay, you guys, thank you so much. Shai, thank you so much for the super, and I will see you at the next time. DMJ, tell us some fun facts, Sona. I can tell you guys one fun fact. Fun fact with fear. During World War II, the US Navy partnered with the Mafia to protect the country's ports. You're welcome. Now you know. Mafia was protecting the US ports during World War II. Alright, that's it. That's over. Okay, that's the end. Thank you so much for all the supas, and thank you so much for all the support and for telling it. for the fun facts too. Tell us another. Jesus, do I have another? Wait, do I have any other fun fact? Okay, wait. I gave you the parallax effect. I think I had like another one. Wait. Do I have another one? Oh god, my stupid phone. I'm just kind of like, I have some saved. Do I have more? Oh no. Oh, there was a bear that was fighting in a Polish city, like, oh, alongside the soldiers. The bear's name was Wojtek, and he was fighting in the World War II. So, you're welcome. And they were giving him cigarettes. He loved cigarettes too. So yeah. Wojtek the bear. That's it. You're welcome. Okay, bye!